Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whatever time zone you may be in. This is Off the Grid Podcast with Aiden and Jared.
The truth.
And the truth is actually what we're trying to get after today because Big Tech will not let you see the truth.
Yes, this is our topic for episode 47, right?
Yep, we're on episode 47, so we're getting close to that 5-0.
Yes. Oh, so, dude, we have to have a celebration, dude. I keep saying that, but I mean...
Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to plan something, and
yes.
hopefully that'll be sooner than later.
And I just got a promotion
Aiden,
from this guy right here.
He is now... You are now audio technician.
Yes.
Yes.
Because, obviously, if you guys follow me, you know that...
He's into his music and music development.
Yeah, so mostly audio stuff, so... Yeah, but this guy right here, he's been learning a lot. I'm proud of him. Like, seriously. He's been learning a lot about EQing. But I have told him, if he has any questions, which he probably won't because the college he goes to, it's pretty freaking, like, precise on what they teach you and how to do it.
Right,
so
yeah.
He'll probably know as much as me, so...
Well,
maybe
you know,
more so.
Well, I mean, I'll teach you what I learn, and you teach me what you know, and then we'll meet in the middle. You know, that'll be a good deal.
Coke, love it.
Mountain Dew,
yes,
love it. I'm prepared for this podcast, guys. I got a whole 2-liter over here. Okay, so guys, big podcast today.
Yes,
I know we say that almost every time, but
this
we really mean it this time.
Oh man, there's so much to talk about today.
It's a lot. I know it's strange to have to be talking about this because we're in America, and we shouldn't have to deal with the censorship of the media, censorship of our news outlets that we want to get our news from.
Yes.
You know, we're
supposed to be free speech.
It's supposed to be a free country. We're supposed to be able to speak openly about what we believe in.
Oh yeah.
But we can't, you know?
Makes me mad.
Yeah, and
really, really mad.
Who knew that, you know, I mean, that we'd have to be talking about this? I mean, our founding fathers are rolling around in their graves right now.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. What do you think George Washington, or what do you think, you know...
You have a famous sound. He's going, woo! Ooh! Ooh! But seriously, though, they're rolling in the grave, dude. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's sad to think that America has gone down the crapper, so to speak, you know. But yeah, we're dealing with it, and we're gonna go over all of the latest headlines regarding social media and what's going on,
as well as my side nerding out a little bit on my side of things.
Yeah, we're gonna dive deep into this topic, not only talk about big tech as in censoring and all that, but we're gonna talk about what makes big tech tick.
Yeah.
Say that 10 times fast.
What?
You know, big tech tick 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 tick.
But getting into the nerdiness of it, I guess you can say. And into the data. Yeah,
getting into what
data. Pay attention to that word, guys, because it will be coming soon. So
it will come back.
Yes, it will.
To bite you in the butt. Yeah. But before we get started, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes,
that is where our main source of information for all of our conservative listeners.
Well, I was going to say income. We haven't made any income yet.
I wish.
Yeah,
you know.
So, guys.
Yeah, sponsor us. Yeah, hey, guys.
Speaking of, donate. Wait.
Yes. We did not mention that in our last episode, but
and some of them, I think.
Well, before we had it, you know, too.
Yeah. Obviously.
But yeah, please do donate to our channel if you wish to contribute, other than just subscribe. Obviously. There's a link in the description below if you guys are interested in making a monetary donation to our channel, because
completely up to you.
You know, completely up to you guys, but we do appreciate it, because any money that we receive will go right back into making our podcast even better.
Yes.
And Aiden, stop hiccuping.
I'm sorry.
No, it will go. The money will go towards.
Dude.
I know.
The Aiden stop hiccuping fund. Hiccuping destroys lives.
So many lives each year. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah. So, anyways, do follow us on the socials, which which
Well,
yeah,
watch if you wish.
which is ironic. We're talking about that when we're
Yeah,
talking about big tech,
yes.
but yeah, we are still available at the time of this recording.
If they don't ban us.
If they don't ban us, we're still available on Facebook and Twitter.
Yes.
We don't post as much, but we're there.
We do post our podcasts.
We do post our podcasts on there, so please do follow our channel if you guys are not clicking the notification bell on YouTube. But
together we can fight back against these companies because it needs to be done.
Yeah,
it needs to be done. Like seriously, the stuff that they're getting away with is not acceptable at all.
Right. So we got a lot on tap today, so let's jump right into the meat and potatoes of why we're wanting to discuss this.
Jared, what is your reasoning for why we're wanting to talk about tech? Why now?
Well,
why?
Big tech, why are we talking about this now? Well, we're talking about this now because we're dealing with a lot of censorship because we are conservatives, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like it's not any news to anyone, it shouldn't be, that big tech is censoring conservative voices.
Yes.
They're only allowing certain information to come out to the public. So left-wing radicals can post all sorts of things about, let's hang Mike Pence like we discussed in the last podcast. But we can't talk about Hunter Biden's emails.
Why?
Come
on.
Yeah,
they made hang Mike Pence a trending on Twitter, but yet when we bring up Biden's laptop, it's like censored. Okay, what?
Yeah, it took them forever to actually take down the hang Mike Pence hashtag.
Yeah.
Which I think is stupid because, that just shows the hypocrisy that social media follows.
Yes.
They don't make it even for both sides. They don't make it even down the middle. Like, okay, like you can't post hate speech and stuff like that,
and
which is what they claim.
We all know what they mean by hate speech.
They mean hate speech as in saying anything about a Democrat.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yep.
You are going to be taken down. You're going
maybe not taken down, but you're going to be looked at.
You're going to be looked at. You can't say anything bad about them. That's what's messed up today, guys. And so
Biden's gonna make it worse too. Speaking of that.
Right, yeah, and we're gonna plan on doing a podcast talking about Biden as well.
That's what we're gonna do tonight, but there's not enough. He hasn't done enough yet, so we're waiting silently in the wings, ready to strike. We're waiting to just see what he does.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna kind of mention Biden throughout the podcast, talk about how he's gonna be involved with the censorship and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I have some ideas that I'd like to mention too if I remember to say something.
Yes.
So.
But we want to preface this by saying this is mostly the company's fault.
Right.
The big tech companies. They don't need the politicians to do this for them. They're the ones that are messing up. They have the power to fight back.
Right.
But they're not.
Yeah. And this has been happening before Biden was inaugurated. Way before. Like years before. This has been
since when Facebook was first made.
Yeah.
I think Zuckerberg has always had this idea of I'm gonna be the biggest site in the world, and
and no one else can.
No one else can stop me, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And going into that, Parler, the app that we wanted to jump onto, which apparently now I'm sorry to announce this, guys, but we cannot go to Parler anymore.
Why? Because
they removed it from the App Store, but not only that, they removed it from the internet.
Completely.
Parler is, I don't know if it was Parler's doing that they removed themselves from the internet, or it was Google that said you got to remove yourselves.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of going on the side of that Parler decided to temporarily shut down.
Me too.
Just because they know that
temporarily. Because I think they will be back because Google's recognized, oh wait, that was stupid.
Right.
Why did we do this?
And also Parler is fighting a lawsuit, which we'll mention later, but
yes,
they are fighting a lawsuit. Hopefully Parler can come back. Yes. But
before we go into that, though, why are we mad at this, Jonas, personally? Me and you.
Well, I'm mad at it because we can't go on there with the other free speech advocates as Parler advertises. They are a free speech platform.
And in case you guys didn't know, last podcast me and him talked about, we wanted to maybe find a way to move our podcast or maybe blogs from us over there or something like that, to get more followers.
Yeah,
get more to people who pertain to our views.
Right, and to try to reach out to the conservatives that could not see our content before.
Or that can't fight for
because of
themselves.
Facebook.
Or they can't
Right.
fight for themselves. We give
Right.
them a voice.
And
now we can't.
yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts on it? Like with
Basically the same as you. I'm so mad. I had ideas of different blogs and stuff I was gonna do too. Like it would have been really cool. You know? Getting to talk to our community. Oh man, dude. It sucks.
I know it really does, and we gotta hope and pray that
People would have listened too, which is funny.
Yeah.
The white people for the white time. But
Right.
it just sucks.
It's a strange world where we're living in right now.
Not strange. It's
Messed up.
messed up, but expected. That's why it's not strange. It's expected. I mean, come on now. We knew this was gonna happen at some point.
Yeah. So, let's start it out with
Freaking Apple.
Apple. Okay.
These guys.
Screw you, Apple.
Screw you, Apple.
Yes. Even though I have an iPhone right here, never gonna be able to,
Same. And I'm actually recording our audio on my MacBook Pro.
which is using GarageBand,
Mm-hmm.
which has become very proficient at. Congratulations.
So is Aiden.
Well, I use Logic, so that's the.
But you've used GarageBand yourself.
when I first went into my thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, though,
GarageBand is good
My-
for what we're doing.
my point though is that we're slave to this company, even though we don't like them because we have to
Right.
use them, obviously.
No, let me clarify, at least on my end. I like Apple.
Me too,
in-
for their products.
As in what products they put out.
Yes, they're amazing.
However, I do not like Apple with how they
While treating this situation.
treat this situation, but also the fact is they're a monopoly.
Yep.
What I mean by that is
There's only really big four tech companies out there ruling the world, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But there's not that many.
right,
There's only like 4 or 3 rather. Well, maybe 4 if you count Twitter, but
right,
well, maybe 5 if you count Instagram. But they exist on the Facebook, so really not really. But there's usually just 4 companies that are controlling the world right now, and we'll get into that.
But hear me out on this though. You guys may not think about this as often. I didn't think about it for the longest time until as of recently, and I've become woke to what these people are doing.
Yeah.
You know,
What is it, Jed?
Apple, think about Apple, okay?
Yeah.
You have only one, when you buy an iPhone, you have one source of purchasing apps. And that is what? Through the App Store.
Whoa. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
You don't have an opportunity to download from another source.
Yeah.
Google, I'm pretty sure Google's the same way.
What in the... Who came up with the term app? Apple. I mean...
Well, it's short for application, right?
Yeah, but who made it popular, though? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Apple. Oh, man.
Like, think how bad that is, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they have a full-on monopoly on your iPhone. Like, you cannot purchase through another source.
And if you want to look at the source code, tough shit, Apple doesn't want you to see it.
Right. And here's the other thing. So, think about this.
First of all, do you know closed versus open source is?
Yeah.
Android's an open source system.
Right, yeah.
Apple's a closed source system.
Which isn't there upsides and downsides to both?
Yeah, open source is basically you can look if you have not an Apple phone, I'm sorry, like an Android phone or an Android device, you can look and see the source code that they made their stuff with, so that way if you want to make an application and something, you can do it.
Which there's programs, I think, for Apple where
Right.
you can, like Apple Creator or something.
Yeah, but they still have it under tight lock and key, though it's known as a closed source system, which means you can't look at their source code, you can't affect it in any way, which has its benefits, you know.
Like, doesn't it for enhanced security, too?
That's why Android gets hacked a lot more than
right.
Apple does, yes. Yes.
That could be problematic.
Yes.
Which, that's kind of a reason why I do not care for Windows.
And, yeah,
as well,
Windows,
you know?
We're gonna get into a heated debate here, guys, I'm sorry. I do like Windows. I do. I think Windows is better, than Apple in some instances.
In some instances, yes, but...
Customizability being among them. Number one. Customizing the desktop, customizing your, I guess you could call them widgets if you're an Apple person, but they're not called widgets. But like your desktop logos and stuff, you can rearrange them in any way you want.
Which Apple has tried to go into that too with the latest iOS update.
Yeah, but they're not that good at it yet. Not good at it yet.
They got some catching up to do because you got to remember how far Apple is behind Android, because Android was like out there first, right?
Yeah, well,
essentially,
we're not talking about Android right now. We're talking about Apple versus Microsoft, technically.
Yeah.
Microsoft owns Android, so we're technically talking about Microsoft here. So yes, but you are right. They are light years behind of Microsoft, especially when it comes to operating systems.
And yet,
Apple's
somehow
more
Apple has
more money,
drawn in more
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's easier to use.
Mm-hmm. The easy user interface.
UI, yes. Yeah. Easier UI. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You hit it right on the money there.
Yep. But yeah, so jumping off of that that monopoly that Apple has with the App Store, I can't say much for Microsoft and Android because I'm not that familiar with those.
Which is weird considering that Microsoft was the first one to do that, and yet they're not as big as Apple. Right. That's what's weird to me, is that Bill Gates was the one that made DOS. He made like operating systems what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And yet Apple's overtaken them. I mean, dude, they're worth $1 trillion. I mean, they're doing something right.
Yeah, they appeal to the elderly too. I think that also helps too, because the elderly will understand it easier than maybe an Android.
Yep.
But anyways, what I was gonna say, jumping off of the monopoly on the App Store.
What happened?
So, Parler has been banned from the App Store.
Yes.
Now, that kind of goes off of the monopoly situation, right?
Oh yeah. What is? I'm gonna ask you a question, and you already know the answer to this, but how is business kept alive? Think about that. How is business kept alive? The competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apple's not allowing competition here.
Right.
That's what sucks. And then Jen, you can elaborate on that, and like why I mentioned that, because they are shutting down any competition like that goes against their views or goes against what they believe in.
I mean, you guys are witnesses to this. It's not like we're breaking any news stories here.
Mm-mm.
We're just reporting on what we're seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
have. If it gets shut down, so be it. But
we'll find a way to go live for you guys.
Yeah.
Some way to post our content.
Underground Dark Web Podcast.
Yeah. Welcome to Off the Grid After Dark.
Yeah. On the deep web.
Yeah.
Oh man. Seriously though. I mean, it's stupid to the point we've gotten. To this point, we have to get. So just read what happened here. I don't even know what to say to this.
So as I mentioned, Apple bans Parler from the App Store.
Yes.
And Apple releases a statement on this situation.
And this is what makes me laugh. This makes me laugh.
And it says, quote, "We have received numerous complaints regarding objectionable content in your Parler service. Accusations that the Parler app was used to plan, coordinate, and facilitate the illegal activities in Washington, D.C. on January 6, 2021 that led to, among other things, to loss of life, numerous injuries, and the destruction of property."
Yeah, that's related to the
Apple wrote,
the U.S. Capitol storm.
Right. Apple wrote in the letter, quote, "The app also appears to continue to be used to plan and facilitate yet further illegal and dangerous activities," end quote.
What are you going to say about that? First of all, what are you going to say?
Well, okay, so if Apple is taking that type of stance, then they need to be more even-steven with how they administer this judgment.
Yeah.
Remember, Facebook is just as bad with administering a regulation on their platform.
Not bad. They understand what they're doing. They know what they're doing. I mean, come on.
Well, I'm just saying, if Apple was truly going after that.
Okay, off of that. Okay.
Yeah, then
I understand.
Then they should be looking at Facebook here, because Facebook has been under backlash for years over terrorist organizations planning on Facebook. There's evidence of that.
ISIS has done it. Freaking ISIS.
ISIS recruits off of Facebook. Like, for Pete's sake, people, this isn't new stuff. And Apple never looked at that.
Are you guys freaking blind? I mean...
Yeah. No, they're not blind. They choose to
ignore it on purpose.
censor when they want.
Yep.
And
But you and pretty little agenda that they got.
just like some of these, there was like, I believe it was a shooting or something that was, or it was a shooting of that church it was like that Pittsburgh church a year ago or so.
Yeah.
Or a couple years. I don't know how long it's
censored.
been. But they did Facebook Live on it.
Yeah.
I believe it was.
Yep.
And they left it up for like 10 minutes.
10 whole minutes.
10 whole minutes before they ended up taking it down. Now explain to me how that's not an act of violence and that's not destroying property, killing people, and ruining lives. How is that not?
Yeah.
I thought you guys were trying to facilitate happiness or something. How is that helping?
Zuckerberg said that's one of them for his Facebook platform. At least he said that's one of the main
goals or something
of his company, and yet you stream a shooting. What?
That's messed up.
Yeah, that's really messed up.
So Parler ended up responding to Apple's comment there and then says, quote, "We will not cave to pressure from anti-competitive actors. We will and always have enforced our rules against violence and illegal activity, but we won't
yep,
all caps, cave to politically motivated companies and those authoritarians who hate free speech." End
Woo!
quote. So
I love that. I love that so much.
I love how they're fighting for us. I mean, Parler, even when they're shut down, they're like, we're going to find a way to come back online.
And it just impresses me so much. I love you guys. Oh, man.
So they're trying to find a way to come back. And we're going to go into this. I'm just going to mention the lawsuit real quick.
And then we have something to show you guys. Jared will show this in the...
We kind of made this discovery.
Today.
Just before the podcast, actually. We it was a good thing we looked before we started.
Yeah. Oh, this is a gold mine.
This is a gold mine of quotes and stuff. It could take us a couple minutes to get through it, but...
Which is okay, because
it's so good.
It's so good.
So...
What's Paulo's claim on the lawsuit? What did they say about this?
So... I don't know why it says Parker's on here, but...
Parker's lawsuit!
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker's lawsuit?
Let me change that.
Parker's claim on the lawsuit.
Like, who's Parker?
My cousin?
Okay, so... ooh, my.
My cousin's claim on the lawsuit.
So, Parler's claim on the lawsuit...
Yes.
They quote, "Millions of law-abiding Americans have had their voices silenced," end quote. Grosbeck said, quote, "There is no evidence other than some anecdotal press references that Parler was involved in inciting the riots."
Thank you. Common sense. Goodness gracious.
I want to see also, not to mention, I don't know if there's actual evidence to this or not, but I want to see some evidence of where this, like some photographs of the violence that was being planned on Parler. Do you have some like photographic proof of
you mean photographs of posts? You mean
of posts?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Not like of the people going to the Capitol.
Obviously, we've seen a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean everyone's seen that. But have you seen like posts or something that I want to see this? Because I'm sure.
Have you seen the Proud Boys posting all over Paula saying, "Let's attack the Capitol"?
Yeah. So
I don't think so.
I want to see this. I'm kind of interested.
Google, I think you guys are full of shit.
Yeah.
Seriously. To put it bluntly.
Yeah. And
one more supposedly Amazon technically, but
yeah, they
full of shit.
Amazon is apparently behind this too. I mean, all these big companies are getting involved in this feud. No one's left out of it.
No feud. They're all gaining up on Paula. Yeah. They're all working together to take him down, which I mean just shows a lot about them. It shows that they're not fair and balanced. Yeah.
So that whole lawsuit, the Parler lawsuit, that's focused mainly towards Amazon.
Yeah.
According to this Fox Business article.
Amazon. We've dealt with.
Right. However, I think that this is probably going to go further.
In what sense?
Well, two senses. I think that it's going to go one way where it's going to go towards Apple, and then we're going to see a lawsuit towards Facebook and Twitter because they were involved. It's also gonna be no, what was I gonna say? I don't know, but
It's gonna be a big fiasco, basically.
Yeah, it might go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Like, this is not something that is on state level
No.
or appellate court or anything like that.
Nope.
This is going all the way to the top.
Yep.
So
I hope we win. I mean, seriously.
I mean, I don't see. They were saying that it was based off of antitrust laws.
Yeah. Which, can you explain that really quick for people who don't know what that is? Just like a brief.
I mean, I can find a definition of it real quick, just because.
Because I haven't really. That's one of the few things I don't know about. Because it's like, I've heard of it, but like I don't really understand what it is.
It has to do antitrust law, Sherman Act. So in the United States, antitrust law is a collection of federal and state government laws that regulate the conduct and organization of business corporations and are generally intended to promote competition for the benefit of consumers. The main statutes are the Sherman Act of 1890, the Clayton Act of 1914, and the Federal Trade Commission Act of 1914. These acts serve three major functions. First, Section 1 of the Sherman Act prohibits price fixing and the operation of cartels, and prohibits other collusive practices that unreasonably restrain trade. Second, Section 7 of the Clayton Act restricts the mergers and acquisitions of organizations that would likely substantially lessen competition.
That's the one right there. That's the one.
That's Section 7 of the Clayton Act.
They're violating Section 7.
Yep. And also the fact is, Facebook is under another lawsuit separately. Facebook is being sued for with the antitrust laws, so they're being sued for under Section 7 of the Clayton Act. They're saying that Facebook is a monopoly.
Yep.
They're controlling the competition, and Facebook needs to give up, in this lawsuit, WhatsApp, and guess what? Instagram.
Oh, man.
Like, that's
a big one.
I mean, that's a big loss for Facebook.
Instagram is a huge loss, dude.
If that lawsuit goes in favor of whoever was filing that.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, that was actually the U.S. government that was filing the lawsuit. So it's the government versus Facebook.
The one good thing that the government did. The one good thing that they did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome, though. Can you imagine if they lose Instagram?
I'm going to keep an eye on that story.
Me too, yes.
And we'll keep you posted.
Yes. Oh, man.
We'll keep you posted and off the grid.
Yes. You know nothing was next to the truth.
So Amazon's response
to
this.
Bullshit response.
So, quote, the events of January 6th changed the way we think about the world. It took what was merely hypothetical and made it chillingly real, Doran said. Amazon had every right after that happened, with the surge of violent content on Parler, to take that into account when it made the decision it did.
What violent content? Were there videos posted? Were there videos of people getting beaten? Were there videos of people getting shot? No. What violent content?
Well,
because, okay, this is hypocritical too. You see freaking things on Twitter about like certain people posting pictures, and then people becoming sexual about it, becoming like really mean and sexual about it, and those don't get taken down, and yet, you know.
Yeah, and let me bring this up. TikTok is also big with that. They I mean, actually, I believe TikTok is also involved in this whole censorship thing too.
They're relatively new though, so they're a new platform.
Right. They're not technically
Chinese
a big
too,
tech,
which tells you a lot.
Right.
Chinese too, so
yeah, like they were censoring some stuff, but then they also let all this sexual content, you know, with like having you know,
TikTok. That's what people are calling it.
Oh no. Oh my gosh,
it's true though. I mean, it's become a cesspool.
You're getting a lot of these like pedophiles that are on TikTok. They're going around and they're following these young girls that are posting videos of them dancing, and then, you know, because that's what TikTok is made for, is technically dancing. That was what it was founded on.
For Fortnite stuff.
Well, it was
Fortnite dances, emotes.
Yeah, Fortnite dances was the biggest thing at the beginning, but they were called Musical.ly before
Yeah.
they were called TikTok. They changed their name because that name was kind of stupid to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
It's like a cesspool. Man,
yeah.
the early days of TikTok were awesome, though,
Because
dude.
imagine if TikTok started going after these people that were, or going after these people that are posting like raunchy stuff.
Yeah.
On their, I mean, I don't even know. I don't want to go into detail about it.
No.
You know, because I've seen articles and stuff about, you know, what some of these people post, and yeah, or you run across videos and you're like, okay, how did this get on here?
I think it's become worse though, dude.
Yeah, it's become raunchy talk.
Yeah. What was I call it? Thick talk.
Thick talk. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that's all about the lawsuit. I'm kind of I'm hoping that, you know, it continues to go forward with Amazon, but I also want them to branch out more.
Yes.
And I want them to go after Apple.
Yes.
Because Apple is
bite them in the butt.
Because Apple is who you need to be going after. Because if you only go after Amazon, that's not solving the issue with Apple. Because remember, we have Apple devices, and we want to be able to get Parler on there.
Yes.
And we want to move our content over to Parler. Now we're
how do you think you're helping the situation by removing an app?
Right.
You're advocating free speech. How do you think this is helping?
Right, yeah. There's so much other bad things, like, you know, that are allowed on the internet, and you're banning this?
Conservatives?
Yeah. Kind of seems like it, because the majority of the people that are on Parler are law-abiding citizens. There was a very few amount of people that
might have done something to plan for the Capitol, but that's a very small...
Yeah, very small amount of people, and we're not even... I want to see the evidence first.
Meanwhile, like Joe had said before, ISIS is literally on Facebook, and they got away with it for years.
Yeah. You know, they were able to do all sorts of violent stuff on Facebook, and Facebook just kind of let it happen. Yeah, beheading. Yeah. So, let's go back to...
This discovery we made, right?
This discovery, yeah.
This is... This is a freaking gold mine. And Joe, what are we using to search this up? A little bit of a shout out right here, but
a little bit of a shout out. When I click my links and everything to websites, it brings up a different browser. It brings up DuckDuckGo.
Yes, which explain why.
Which that sounds hilarious when you think about it. It's like, what? DuckDuckGo. What does that even mean?
What is that? How is that?
Well, the DuckDuckGo browser. We're not sponsored by DuckDuckGo, mind you. But we're just giving a shout out to them because I really like your service so far. I've been using it. I've stayed away from Google and stayed away from Safari and stayed away from Google Chrome.
Why?
And because of the censorship of news articles, and you know, you're not able to have equal access to articles that you want to get to. You want a balanced system, so then you can access articles that you wish.
Yes.
And so I'm using DuckDuckGo now. For the most part, I'm staying away from Safari, Google,
and there's a cool
Firefox.
There's a cool feature that DuckDuckGo has that I don't think any other site I've come across has. What is that?
They have a list of the websites that were trying to track you. So say if I open up this Fox Business article, it'll tell you it just blocked out multiple things.
What does it say blocked you right now? Who's tracking us right now?
Okay, so it gives a grade on each of the websites on what the privacy is.
Yeah. This is a C, right?
So it was actually at a privacy grade of D before DuckDuckGo.
Oh, man!
So you go to DuckDuckGo, use that, you get an enhanced grade of C.
That still isn't very good. I mean,
yeah.
Wait, 21 blocked? 16 major trackers blocked. So what is it showing them, basically, Jared? What is it saying?
It's basically saying that when you go to a website, you're being watched by multiple people. Multiple companies are, like, watching you like eagle. You know, they got eagle eyes on you.
Yeah.
And what are they doing? They're selling your information. They're selling it to advertisers. Advertisers
don't
paying...
get too far ahead of that because I'll talk about that in
Right.
one of the other in my article that I was so animated about sharing with
Right.
you.
But
We'll get into that. Yeah.
With that goes into that, but it blocked like 21 trackers, 16 major trackers blocked, and unknown privacy practices are blocked.
I
don't know if that makes me cringe.
What does that mean?
Okay, so let's see some of
Let's
these.
see some of these businesses.
So we got Google at the top, obviously.
Oh, Amazon.
Advertising.
Wait, what, Adobe?
Adobe is tracking me.
What the hell is Oracle? Verizon?
No, Oracle was the one that was trying to buy TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
Verizon Media.
The Nelson Company.
The Nielsen.
Oh, Nielsen.
That's the one that does they do like they track like TV watching and stuff.
Oh man.
Cloudflare, Akamai, Fastly.
So these companies we don't know, but yeah, the big one is Google.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
And of course, Facebook is normally on here. However, I don't know. They're not on here right now, but normally they are. But yeah, that's the gist of it. So
Google Go, no, DuckDuckGo was really good for
Google Go. Was it like Teen Titans Go, but like a
Google Go?
You get a smaller version of.
Yes. So what is this discovery that we made?
So
you went to Parler.com, right?
Right, and okay, so after the last podcast, I believe it was the last one,
they literally took it off.
They literally took it off after we were done with our podcast,
and
so we couldn't
looked
report
for
on
it, and we couldn't find it.
Right, look for it, couldn't find it on the App Store.
On the phone, right here.
Mm-hmm.
We looked for it, and we couldn't find it.
Right.
So what was our idea?
So we're like, well, we're gonna try to continue to go on to Parler. We're just not gonna be able to access it from the App Store. We're going to have to access it from the web.
The actual site.
Yeah, the actual website. And we were able to. Now we can't.
What has Parler said? Let's just...
So, if you type in Parler.com, Parler with Parler.
Yeah, because that's how
how it's spelled.
Yeah.
And by the way, the website is a B+ ranking on privacy.
Which is good. Which is really good.
It's really good, yeah.
Yes. Congratulations to you, Paula.
So... At the top of the website, and it says technical difficulties.
Yep.
So it says, now seems like the right time to remind you all, both lovers and haters, why we started this platform. We believe privacy is paramount and free speech essential, especially on social media. Our aim has always been to provide a nonpartisan public square where individuals can enjoy and exercise their rights to both. We will resolve any... This is the most important quote here, guys.
Yes.
We will resolve any challenge before us and plan to welcome all of you back soon. We will not let civil discourse perish.
What's that saying then, basically, that last quote?
That says that they're going to be fighting tooth and nail, to come back, And I really hope this is true. Hopefully we're only...
Because that means our podcast will get better if it does.
Yeah, we're still planning on moving over there once Parler's back.
If
it
is. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. These companies are powerful, dude.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want.
Because Amazon's acting so confident that they're going to be able to block Parler here.
They've destroyed whole businesses before, dude.
But I think there's alternative reasons to this, not just and we mentioned it before that there's political reasons, but there's also competitive reasons. Because you got to remember, Facebook and Twitter have been on top of the most downloaded social media platforms for years. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Parler overtook Twitter.
Ding, ding. Knocked him out for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, they had, from what I believe, is over 12 million users on their platform.
And they're all gone. All gone. 12 million.
12 million people that chose to download Parler, and now they just can't do it.
How many people that is? That's like a whole city.
Yeah.
Gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have kept growing too, probably. I mean, the traffic would have kept growing.
Yeah, they would.
I was excited to see the future of this thing too,
Yeah.
Although I was worried that Parler was gonna maybe be bought out by someone, but I mean.
No, now we're worried that it's probably never gonna come back. So
what else is on this site then, Jared?
All right, so the latest, I guess, what they do after the technical difficulties word there, there's a whole bunch of posts and stuff from their social media. I believe they like update us as as new
on.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They refresh the page or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So every time you go there, you might end up seeing another post. So the last one was on the 21st.
Yep.
Of January.
It was 2 days ago.
Yeah. So this is from Parler's handle there. Over the past few weeks, Parler has been repeatedly mischaracterized and treated unjustly, but the recent personal attacks on our CEO, John, his wife, Alina, and their family are reprehensible. Alina, whose working-class family lived in the former Soviet Union, came to America to start her own multiracial interfaith family with John, to subject them to baseless accusations that their marriage is part of some twisted espionage scheme, all because she is an immigrant, is precisely the sort of racism, nativism, fear, and demonization President Biden urged us to reject in his inaugural address. Mic drop. Boom, guys. That's a huge comment. I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting fired up. The entire part...
Because Biden's for... he says...
He's for bringing America back together. It kind of seems he's quite divisive.
Screw Biden, seriously.
You.
That is just...
Yeah.
Such hypocrites. Yeah, I'm sorry for that, but seriously, they're such hypocrites.
Yeah,
Not Paul, I'm talking about...
Yeah.
Biden here. They're such...
Yeah, so I don't know if you heard about that story before, but...
Nope.
They were, firing off at John and his wife because they were accusing them of, like, having connections to Russia, and... that's why it was all a big scheme to get into our government. Like, to take control of the people, to influence elections and all that.
It's like you're the ones getting into people's heads, so shut up.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing there. So the entire Parler team stands behind John and Alina.
Yeah.
Our new president called for unity. Quote, "We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue, rural versus urban, conservative versus liberal. We can do this if we open our souls instead of hardening our hearts," end quote. The smears against John and Alina are exactly the sort of tactics he is imploring us all to abandon. Let's all commit to working together toward unity and healing.
Yes. Because Biden sure isn't, from what...
So here's an update, I think, on the
what is this about?
The Amazon lawsuit.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's see what this is. This is from the Twitter page too, right?
This is from Parler page. This is like... No, this isn't from Twitter. It looks like Twitter, but it's not.
Is it that's Parler's Twitter account, though? Are you sure?
That's Parler's Parler account.
Okay. Oh, their own... Yeah, they have their own account. Yeah. I got you.
That'd be kind of weird if they were posting on Twitter.
Well, they would have shut them down by now.
Yeah, we are disappointed by the judge's ruling against our request for a preliminary injunction in our suit against Amazon AWS. We remain confident that we will...
Amazon Web Services, in case you guys don't know.
We remain confident that we will ultimately prevail in the main case. We also remind everyone that this litigation is still in its early stages, and that the resolution of this case will have broad implications for our pluralistic society. Parler is gratified that the court refused to uncritically accept Amazon's argument, widely repeated in the media, that the Parler platform was somehow used to plan, coordinate, or execute despicable January 6th riot at the Capitol. So, in that statement there, the court refused Amazon's argument.
Yeah. And we'll post pictures of these quotes, guys. The whole page itself, obviously,
yeah,
you can see.
We'll have it for you guys. Ooh,
so you can see
just blocked some new people trying to follow me.
Oh, gosh. Track you. Jeez.
Yeah, they just blocked them out. Guess who's trying to follow me?
Let me see who it is.
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe no one now because you're on Paula. That's why. Ha Paula, good job, guys. It's in the green now, so...
Yep.
Which is good.
We're good. So, based on the evidence of which we are aware, the Parler platform was not used in that manner, even though competing platforms clearly were used for that purpose. We are grateful the court refused to join the dishonest attempt to make Parler the scapegoat for the riot.
Woo!
At the same time, Parler is disappointed that the court's ruling ignored the reality that every social media platform, including Amazon's own online store, sometimes unwittingly hosts content that incites violence or is otherwise inappropriate.
Twitter.
In fact, our analysis shows that the incidence of such material on Parler is far lower than on competing platforms. Parler has developed an artificial intelligence-based enforcement system
Yes.
that we believe will reduce the incidence of such content still further.
Woo!
So the
They
final.
developed an AI. Shoot.
So
the final one we're gonna read here is what you're gonna say.
No, final on this this post. Parler looks forward to working with old and new partners to reestablish an alternative social media platform that not only avoids the unnecessary censorship that has become increasingly popular with its competitors, but is also more protective of public safety.
Yes.
So, I'm curious here.
To what?
Wait, when was Parler removed from...
Let me look. Just to make sure I'm not wrong here, guys. I'm sorry. Quick little search really quick. When was Parler... I'm gonna make sure I'm right here. Removed. January 9th. January 9th of this year, from what it seems.
Well, look at John.
Well, what CNN says, it was actually booted from these applications on January 11th. So that's what I'm gonna go with. It was banned on the 11th, guys. So, based on multiple sources.
So look at John's post. He said, "Hello." The first post, "Hello world, is
this thing on?" Yes. I feel bad for the guy though because he put so much work into this.
And his family's being attacked, dude. His family is like his wife, his kids. He's being accused of espionage. Like all these stupid.
This is such bullshit,
dude. This is what the left does, and
this is bullshit, dude. This is absolute bullcrap.
They've been doing this from the very beginning of the 2016 election. Right?
First it was Russia, then it was impeaching Trump.
Russia. Impeach. Ukraine.
Yep.
You know, this, that. Now there's another impeachment for Trump.
Yep.
And
when Biden's already in office, mind you, what the hell?
Like, screw you guys. You have your position in. You have control of the White House. You have control of the Senate. You have control of the House. What else do you guys want?
Yep.
What else do you want? All right.
You have everything you need now.
And all you're trying to do...
just pass your bullshit laws and leave us the fuck alone.
I think there's going to be... I think when Nancy Pelosi retires, if she does, you know, she'll probably end up dying in office or something. Because, you know, she wants to keep control of the House, speaker of the House.
Yeah.
But, you know, if she ever went to, like, a psychology, you know, psychologist or something...
Yes.
She would have... Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh yeah,
TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. They're gonna be having like pills that. What?
Nothing.
They're gonna be
TDS spelled backwards. Flipped around. I'm sorry, I had to. Oh, that's funny.
But they're gonna
seriously though, yeah. They're gonna give her pills and stuff and like.
Yeah, they're gonna be giving her pills to try to help with her problem and.
Yeah.
Literally, they cannot let this go. This Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing, dude.
It's taking over the country.
I mean, that's more widespread than COVID. I'm sorry, guys, but sorry for that. But,
because of your hazmat suits for this one, trust me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all of the swamp has been infected.
Swamp ass. I love it. We have the Foghorn effect now. We have to.
So... Then there's a couple other posts like Sean Hannity saying, "I've spent my entire career fighting for free speech, even for those I strongly disagree with. We stand with Parler in the fight for free and open dialogue."
Woo!
And then there's some other posts from
Yeah, so basically, Joe, I think that's it for that. So what have you gotten from this? Looking at this site to find out that it's been removed. Literally right after we recorded the podcast saying that we were going to use it.
I know, and
that's such bullshit, dude. Seriously, that.
And it wouldn't have mattered too. Like even if we had it set up before, like we still wouldn't have access to it.
Right? Yeah.
So.
What do you think about all this, dude?
I think that. Well, mine is more hoping that this lawsuit will go somewhere.
Yeah.
That Parler will win and be able to.
Yes.
Come back online. I'd like to see Parler back, and not only for
our sake,
but for the nation's sake, because
Parler is the site that we need right now. Seriously, we need some common sense in this country right now.
We need a platform that is not monitored by the big tech, that is controlling our speech and not allowing people to openly give their opinion on stuff.
Yep.
I mean, this is serious stuff, dude.
Dude, YouTube, we experienced it with YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, guys, I don't know if you remember this, but our earliest followers will remember this. Our Funny Moments video got taken down. For some reason. Remember that?
Yep. I don't know if it was YouTube, Google, or it was our own issue, but I clearly don't remember deleting it.
Yeah.
So.
Me neither.
I don't know.
I noticed and I was like, dude, look at this.
Yeah, it's like, what happened?
Like, what? And YouTube's gonna be a whole nother thing. We might talk about it later, but YouTube's a whole nother debacle in itself. And we probably know most about it because we're on YouTube mostly, so
yeah,
we'll bring that up later. But yeah, such bullcrap.
So, anyways,
this is such
it is. So Aiden is gonna go into some of the going deeper about it with what
the technical aspects of this.
Mm-hmm.
How does technology allow you to manipulate people's minds and to manipulate data and stuff like that? So, though I'm gonna open up this article, but I'll talk as I do this. This is a concept that I kind of know about. Metadata. I'm sure you guys have heard of this. All you techies out there might know what this is, but for those of you who don't, I'm gonna explain what this is. So, so this article says, if you Googled metadata and found this article, you use metadata. When you bought your mother a gift from Amazon, you use metadata. Did you just reconnect with a colleague via LinkedIn? Metadata. Was it work? You have to do a Spotify fix? Yep, you guessed it. You use metadata. But what is metadata? Quite simply, metadata is data that describes other data. In information technology, the prefix meta means an underlying definition or description. So metadata describes whatever piece of data it's connected to, whether that data is video, a photograph, web pages, content, or spreadsheets. Since metadata summarizes basic, and guys, I mean very basic, basic info about data such as type of asset, author, data created, usage, file size, and more, metadata is crucial to the efficiency of information systems to classify and categorize data. Metadata information helps IT systems uncover what users are looking for. It's important to note that organizations are inundated with structured and unstructured data, and they both need metadata. Structured data is easily organized and discovered through search engine algorithms or a strict database format, while unstructured data is the complete opposite. Email is an example of unstructured data. Most emails aren't easily categorized because they rarely cover a single subject. Most business interactions are in the format of unstructured data, making sorting and defining the data a time-consuming and expensive proposition, but metadata can help. And why does metadata matter in a big data world? It's just as really important because I think this kind of pertains to what we're talking about here. Metadata is a game changer in a big data world because it can give you a competitive advantage. Right now, it's often taken for granted or not prioritized by chief information officers. The better you harness the power of big data to drive business decisions, the more successful your firm will be. The more robust your metadata, the quicker your team will be able to extract actionable information and make quick business decisions. In addition to better and quicker decision making, metadata supports data consistency across an enterprise and enables associations between data sets for high quality results. Although metadata is one of the fastest growing segments of enterprise data management, according to a report published by IDC, there's a significant big data gap. Metadata isn't keeping up with the rapid rate of big data products. Without metadata, companies are losing out on analyzing and interpreting big data and the subsequent insight it offers to propel a business. As each new big data initiative is launched, and it's essential to a company with a comprehensive metadata management strategy before it balloons out of control after startup. Investing the time to ensure each digital asset follows a consistent methodology will pay dividends in efficiency and usability in the future. So, yeah. That's basically it. So, Jared, what was that all about right there? Sorry, that was a bit long one, but I wanted to get that across. So, what did you catch from that, Jared? What was that?
Well, metadata is basically like the backbone of searching of everything.
Yep.
Of the internet, basically.
And why is that important to what we're talking about? In your mind. Because what does metadata do? It shows you what the data means, right? It shows you what it means. So Facebook can use that on a very basic level. You know? They can use it on a very basic level. They can look at something you searched, and they can look at the bare bones of it and say, oh, this lines up with this.
Right.
Let's see how we can use this to manipulate him. Or her, or whoever's using this, you know?
Right, yeah.
They have servers dedicated to this stuff, dude. Thousands of them. You know? That's what I'm going to get across. Metadata is... It's more than just big tech companies using it. If you're smart to use metadata, but it's really important that people understand what this is because these companies are using it. To great effect.
Yeah.
You know? And wait, what was I going to say? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that this article is from Bernard Marr and Company.
Yeah.
Intelligent Business Performance.
They're basically an IT company.
So that sounds about right.
Yeah.
You know, for them posting this article.
In fact, I have something else to show you guys that talks about just in general. I don't know if I can find it. Here we go. In general, just talks about what
Man, DuckDuckGo is fast.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Jeez. So the data big tech companies have on you. So I explained what metadata was. Now I'm gonna explain to you guys how it's used in terms of what we're talking about here. So it says, these days, checking a box saying that you have read and understood a website's privacy policy is about as legitimate as a Kylie Lipkit knockoff sold on the side of the road. Most likely, you don't have a legal background to actually understand the privacy policy, and no one has the time, patience, or energy to try to parse what data websites are storing and how they use it to their advantage. First of all, on a little tangent real quick, that's why only lawyers read those things.
Yeah, and that's like an ongoing joke that lawyers only read it, but that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you go to join a new app or sign up for something new, and they have like a privacy policy that you have to agree to? Usually, it's like a long, continuous list that you got to read through, and
that's for lawyers, though.
That's for the lawyers to read. I mean, if you
they can catch you on your not on your crap, but if they catch you doing something that they perceive to be bad, they can get you in the butt for it. They say, you clicked that button, you clicked it. They might not have seen you click it, but you clicked it, so
you acknowledged it, so you have no ground to stand on, basically. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, no one has much time to read that.
And they know
that. I mean, and yeah, they know that because they know that you're in a hurry to do whatever it is, and you're just going to want to acknowledge. Yeah, you're just not going to care about it. But if you come back later in the future, try to file a lawsuit because of something that happened to you, they'll just say, well, look, you acknowledged it, so therefore you can't. You have no place there. So
let me read some of this data because this is really. So I'm focusing on data so much. I just want you guys to get this into your heads because this will be important to what we're talking about later. So, and Jared, I think you'll find this interesting too. This part of it because I really think you'll find this interesting. So. As far as logging and most of your data goes, the prize goes to Google, which isn't surprising, as their entire business is based on data. The best company for your privacy is Apple, which only keeps the data needed to upload your account. Don't know about that, but okay. Twitter and Facebook both keep more information than they have to, although with Facebook, it's mostly the data you've entered yourself. Amazon lies directly beneath Apple in terms of privacy, which that's true. In my opinion, that's because their site isn't as dependent on advertising revenue as Google, Facebook, and Twitter.
So hold that thought for a second. So
this is from a site called security.org, so you can.
Which I'd believe what they're saying when they say that about Apple not holding much information.
Yeah.
Because he said I read the privacy policies of Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Apple, and Google.
Yep.
So he took the time to go, or she, he and she both took the time to go through and find that out. So I would probably take their word for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a closer look at each company and the data reveals that they collect. I'll also go why they say they collect this information in their policies for sharing it with third parties. But if you want to learn even more, wait, that's okay. So get Google data, guys. For everyone you, this is gonna be a long one, but it's needed because it'll explain things later. So Google data collection. The grade is an F on that. Let me tell you guys why. We use Google so often that it's almost hard to think of it as a set of products and services. Personally, I think of it more like a way of life, a tool that has an impact on nearly all my daily decisions. Like what subway I should take to get to work the fastest, what's the best place to get my boots repaired, or even what a random woman I went to college with is doing at this very second. Whether it's Gmail, when I send all my emails, or Google Maps, which I'm completely dependent on to know where I am. Yep. Google has a myriad of ways to collecting your data and collect your data they do. Information they collect. Out of all the companies on this list, Google collects and stores most of your information by far. That's not surprising, as the business model relies on knowing as much data as possible and making it super easy for you to access. However, the company keeps a ton of data on you, the searcher, as well as the world at large. From your precise location to your browsing history, from your activity on third-party sites or apps, to the emails in your Gmail account. If it's data, there's a good chance that Google is collecting it.
And the scary part is that they know your exact location.
Yeah.
That's the scary part, because they track you, because if you have to find a location that you need to get to, they have to know your location for that.
Sorry, I'm Jared. I'm gonna squeeze in here really quick because I want to show them what we're seeing here.
I'll pull it up on the screen so you don't have to do that.
It's basically like there's a graph of like what they collect, and it's scary. It's scary how much they collect. It's scary.
It is.
They got stuff like name, phone number, payment information, email address, emails you write and receive, stored videos and photos, stored documents, stored spreadsheets, and YouTube comments.
I was about to say, it says social security number on there. Good thing that's not collected.
Yep.
Because if that was collected, oh my god, that'd be bad.
Google collects your IP address, crash reports, which I don't know why they need that. System activity, date, time.
Well, crash reports is like, so then if they need to fix something that was like causing an issue.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And referral URL of your requests, data about interactions between apps, browser and device type, which that's
I don't know.
Cool.
Wait, so they don't collect crash reports?
Yeah, they do.
No, it says data not collected.
Then they lie.
Data is collected is the one that's...
They must have just made a mistake on the graph.
Huh.
Browser and device type. That's what interests me, actually. They collect your browser and device type.
Where are you looking at now?
Right here. Application version number, app usage, carrier name, and operating system. So unique identifiers. Basically what this is a unique identifier, just something that...
It's a boy or a girl.
No, how do I explain this one? Let me look at a definition really quick just to make sure I'm not messing up.
Well, a unique identifier, I think I know what you're talking about here. That's like if you're on like the Tor browser, it sends your IP address. You can be all the way in Japan if you wanted to.
Unique identifier is an identifier that is guaranteed to be unique among all identifiers used for those objects for a specific purpose. Okay. Atomic data. Okay. Oh, like MAC addresses, MAC addresses, that kind of thing. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, like look at all this though. IP address is collected, which is weird. System activity, date, time, referral URL, data about interactions, browser type, device type, application version number, carrier name, operating system. They also collect payment information. What? If you've made any purchases through Google. Wow. Oh my god. Look at all this too. Search terms, videos watched, videos and interactions with ads, video and audio information, and photo features are used, time, frequency, or duration of activity, purchase activity.
Well, I think the
browsing history, calling party number.
I think payment information that goes into like if you are
types of calls. Good lord.
Types of calls?
Routing information, call duration, how long it was. Time and dates and calls of text, forwarding numbers, receiving party. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is all Google?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is just Google. It collects your GPS data, sensor data from the device. Information about things near device, i.e. Wi-Fi, access points, cell towers, Bluetooth-enabled devices. Holy shoot! They get everything, dude. Publicly accessible sources. They collect local newspapers.
That's the WAP dance.
What? What?
Wireless access point. WAP.
What?
That's a wet. That's a wireless access point.
That's a wet ass point.
Wireless
advertisers.
access.
So why they say move down a little bit because I'm going to say why they. Okay, so this is why they say they collect your data, which keep in mind, guys, it's a lot. This is a lot of freaking data. Aside from maintaining your services, Google collects your data to personalize ads and content, although this isn't done based on your race, religion, health, or sexual orientation by law. Google also uses your data to measure the performance of ads, sharing the data with advertisers so they can create ads that are even more effective. Wow.
So it's all based off of ads? That's all it got.
That's what they say.
That's That's
bullshit,
crap.
dude. That's bullshit. If they get an F in that grade, you gotta know that they're doing something with that.
They're doing something shady.
Yeah. Now, moving on, let's do Facebook. They're next. The big kahuna. Surprisingly, they get a C on this.
So they're passing.
Recently, Facebook has gotten a bad rap, and it's pretty clear why. Need I mention the Cambridge Analytica scandal of 2018? What started out as a hot or not app has evolved into a safer form of social media, combining the social aspects of MySpace with those emails filled with tales of girls being whisked away to marry foreign princes.
What?
They was talking about MySpace and they were using MySpace for it. It was just a weird system, I guess.
Ugh.
Although the platform was on the decline, they still have 2.737 billion active users.
Yeah.
Monthly, with a revenue of over 60 billion in 2019 alone. So what sort of data does the company collect on over 72% of North Americans? Well, I read the privacy policy, so you don't have to. Let's see this. Information they collect, obviously. Since Facebook is a purely social app, they know a ton about their users personally. From the people you interact with to the groups you're in and even your private messages, or so you thought.
Oh my god.
Facebook knows exactly when you log on, for how long you logged on, and what comments, shares, and transactions you made in that time. And this is where it gets weird.
So they know your private messages.
Yep. Think about that. Like, yep. So I'm just gonna read off what they collect here. Your name, obviously, phone number, payment information, email address, stored videos and photos, metadata of photos and files, which is why I mentioned metadata first, so that you know what that means. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Facebook is a wealth of personal information, most of which you enter yourself. Which
so basically,
says something. You gave them over your data, yes.
You gave it to them, and they're safe from any lawsuit.
Yep.
For the most part,
like we talked about.
Yep.
The company keeps your name, phone number, payment information, email address, contact info from devices, as well as your stored videos and photos. Plus, they'll keep the metadata of your photos and files in case they lose it. So,
according to this little graphic here, it shows that
this is
the only
identifiers.
The unique identifiers. The only thing that's collected is the IP address.
Yep.
Which that's good.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Under that section, that's not too bad.
The only unique identifiers that Facebook keeps is your IP address. Easy to cover up with a VPN. Easy.
Right.
If you guys don't know what that is, it's something that helps you
protect your identity and stuff online.
So you're not tracked. Yep.
Oh, another, which is also I suggest is another thing for you guys to go after.
ExpressVPN, that's something big right now.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's growing. I'm sure people. I mean,
NordVPN, if you
NordVPN, yeah, that's another big thing. I mean, I think those things you have to pay for, like a subscription or something. Yep. But if you're that concerned about your privacy online, then you should probably do it.
Yeah. So the activity for this is a little bit less.
That's not too bad on activity.
Good. They get your networks and connections. They get your messages, content, videos watched, views and interactions with content and ads, time, frequency, and duration of activity, people you communicate and share content with, and then that's it. In terms of activity, Facebook keeps track of your connections and networks, messages, content, and videos watched, along with how you interact with different content and advertisements. They know exactly when you use their site and for how long. I'll log the people you check out they don't communicate with. And for location information, literally the only thing, guys, is the sensor data. So that's not too bad. And they don't collect any public or accessible sources at all, from what I understand. So why did they say they collect your data? So what the company claims, Facebook claims, they use it to personalize and improve their own products, like suggesting groups you might be interested in, showing you business nearby your current location, or presenting you with, you guessed it, highly targeted ads. Ever wondered why that content you just looked up shows up everywhere you like on Facebook? That's why. I do have to give the company some credit, though, as they do sometimes use the data for good, like to learn about migration patterns during crisis to help relief efforts. See, not all big data is used for evil. I'm not so sure I agree with that. Jared, so what did you think about that company, Facebook?
I mean, I'm not saying that everything's bad on Facebook. But
I just looked at what they do, so.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably believe this person over, just making my own judgment. Mark Zuckerberg, because this person was looking directly at the privacy policy.
Yeah.
So I believe him.
Yeah.
And stuff that's not everything is horrible over at Facebook, but there's a lot of things that we disagree with,
which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
So next up is Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amazon gets a B-, actually, surprisingly. What do they say about that?
That's not bad. Not a bad grade.
So it says, what is there to say about Amazon that hasn't been said about a fictional monopolizing corporation in a dystopian novel about a new future? The biggest e-commerce website in the country and one of the largest businesses in the world, to say Amazon has disrupted retail would be like saying that the Model T disrupted the horse and buggy. It's true. And Amazon isn't just selling you products and services, they're also collecting your data, selling it to their third-party marketplace sellers like Starbucks. What? Office Max, Verizon, and Eddie Bauer. Let's take a closer look. So, they collect a lot. Go down to that graph. They collect, oh my god.
On the personal information?
Yes!
Yeah. Social security number?
Yep, they collect that. Yep. They collect your name, username, password, phone number,
no,
payment information, address, social, driver's license number. What the hell do they need with your driver's license number? And your email address, which I can understand that, but your driver's license number?
Maybe if you're like an Amazon driver or something, maybe.
But what do they need that for? Amazon knows your name if you give it to them, your username, password, phone number, payment information, shipping address, and email. These are all pretty standard and necessary for Amazon services, but I was surprised to look. But they also have your social security and driver's license numbers. Why would you need that? Like what? Amazon! What are you doing? Dude, what are you gonna say to that, dude?
That's a bit of an overreach, to say the least.
They know your social, dude.
Yeah.
So for the unique identifiers, they just know your, oh god, they know your IP address, your browser type, and look at the last one. That's sketchy. Your operating system. That's sketchy. Amazon logs your IP address, browser type, and operating system, which is pretty minimal compared to the other companies in this article. Activity, your search terms, your videos watched. Wow, okay. Purchase activity, reviews for obvious reasons. Browsing history, and then that's it. And for the location information, they get your GPS, probably for the drivers, and your sensor data. And for publicly accessible sources, they get your third-party marketing, which is obvious why, advertisers, and credit history. That's all obvious why, because they're Amazon, so they need that. So why they say they collect it. Amazon makes its money pretty differently from social media companies like Facebook and Twitter, or even search engines like Google. The reason why Amazon is so profitable is because the actual purchase occurs on their platform, which makes sense, providing the majority of the revenue as opposed to money from advertisers. So as far as why they say they collect your data, it's pretty simple. To improve their services and to prevent fraud. Which their fraud system is effed up. Amazon's privacy policy is by far the shortest of any of the companies on this list. But with devices that are literally listening to your every move, this seems a little bit oversimplified. I go downstairs, right? I mean, come on now.
Right. Okay, so I don't think we need to read word for word the rest of the article.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just kind of glance over some of the graphs, maybe, and avoid the paragraphs.
Yeah. So Apple gets surprisingly an A+. So they collect basically your name, phone number, payment information, address. They don't collect your socials, is good. Emails are write and receive, that's a little bit sketchy. And then the unique identifiers is just the IP and the device type, which... Oh, and the operating system. Well, the operating system's obviously why, because of Apple, so
right.
They need to know your phone and what...
Well, I think... Well, Apple has also, like, tried to, advertise that they are for privacy, they keep your content, your information safe. They don't want to take that information, and they don't let other people have access to that information.
Yep.
Like, outside third party. Like, we're talking, say a hacker is trying to get a hold of your Apple ID account.
Yep.
They're going to have a difficult time doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty tough to gain access to someone else's Apple ID because what happens is that if someone tries to log in on your Apple ID from another device, if it's not you, it'll send a notification that someone was trying to log in.
It'll send all the time if I forget my password or whatever.
Yeah, it'll send like a general area where they were trying to log in.
Such and such logged into your account. Do you want this or no?
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, I had someone hack into my Apple ID once.
Yep.
And this was like years ago. This was before I had my current iPhone. I mean, it's been a long time. It was like back in the beginning when I first started getting Apple products, but I had my Apple ID hacked, and I noticed that it was like someone logged into something on another device somewhere else. I'm like,
what?
No, that's not me.
Yep.
So I gotta change my password and all that. So, yeah.
So, Apple Store is by far the least amount of your activity data, obviously.
Yeah, because they got an A+.
Yep. Location information, they don't really need to worry about it than the GPS stuff. Public accessible, none of that. They don't. So their reason, obviously, to improve their products, services, and content, basically, is what they're trying to say. They want to make better phones, better MacBooks. That's why they do that.
I believe it.
And implement fraud. Which they're really good at that, actually. I will give them that. They're really good at that.
Yeah.
And then finally, the big kahuna, Twitter. Oh,
Got
they get a C-. Yes. Let's just do this. The graph says, oh my. Okay, let's go over this. Name, username, password, obviously, phone number. They don't collect your payment information, not your address, not your social, which is good. And emails you write and receive. The unique identifiers. This is kind of weird. They collect your IP address, but also your browser type and device type. And your carrier name and operating system. That's weird for Twitter to do. Why does Twitter do that?
Well, do you remember when you like tweet on Twitter that it'll say like what device you tweeted from?
Yeah, maybe that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That could be still, it's weird though.
Why is that even a necessary
thing? Yes. So Twitter logs many unique identifiers, including your IP address, browser, and device type, carrier name, and operating system. So your activity, what do they log? They log your messages. It's kind of weird. Content, videos watched, videos and interactions with content and ads, video and audio information if audio features are used, time, frequency, and duration of activity, people you communicate and share content with, activity on third-party sites and apps, and browsing history. Oh, and privacy settings. That's the big one right there at the bottom, dude. Look at
browsing history.
Look at the bottom one. That's the big one. That's the big one right there. That's the one to file for.
What about location?
Yeah. Yep. Time zone. That's weird. And GPS.
Well, I think all that time zone is just so then when you post a tweet, it'll. What?
Their reason for collecting it's a fantastic. I'll look into it later, but. Sorry, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that just so when it's time stamped when you post the tweet.
Their reason is fantastic. Let me just read this to you guys.
Okay.
According to Twitter, they collect your data to scan for malicious content and spam. Okay. Verify that you are who you say you are. Help to find people to follow, protect the integrity of the platform. Bullshit. And guess what topics you might like to create some personalized ads. Now, if you've been staying up to date with your Twitter news, you might be shocked to learn that Twitter looks for malicious content and spam, especially with the way of white supremacists and Russian bots that populate Twitter's feed. Wow. Twitter, you're such bullcrap. Like, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And that's enough for that article. That was the last company.
Wow.
So what do you guys... So, Jared, I know that was a lot, but what was the reason I went over that?
Well, let's see. The reasoning behind going over that is that we get an idea of what they use our information for.
Yep.
I think that's kind of important for everyone to know, when you guys sign up for a new service, whether that be an app or, you're signing up for some website, I don't know. But either way, you need to be aware of, that your information is being used for other things that you may not realize.
Yep.
You got to be aware of that, Now, I'm not telling you to read all the privacy settings because I don't even do that myself.
Yep, me neither.
But that kind of gives you an idea that someone else will do it for me. Kind of look over the privacy settings and so now you have an idea that what the grade is on some of these.
I'm surprised.
What do you think about it?
One of them got your social. What?
What's the need
That's
for a social
creepy.
security number?
Amazon, what the heck are you doing? You guys are creepy. Like, seriously. And your driver's license number? What?
I wonder if that's...
Explain that one.
I wonder if that has to do with, you being, an Amazon driver or something, but,
still, though.
the majority of people... That don't make sense.
That's weird, dude. That's just weird to me. Very, very, very weird.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, my God.
I need some more Mountain Dew. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, let's cheers before we continue. Oh, God.
ASMR.
Mountain Dew.
Ooh, hear those bubbles.
Oh, my baby. All right. Yes. So, Judd.
That's some good stuff.
Yes.
Okay,
What's the next one? Yeah.
So, there's also some psychological tactics that social media uses.
And we don't have to put up the article for this. The only reason, guys, I did that was because I wanted you guys to really understand what was going on with metadata and all that, and why that's important.
Did you want to do the psychological section too, or
just like the quotes?
Yeah, what we have on our notes.
Yeah. So this is kind of cool because I told Jared this too. I don't know if you guys know this, but I noticed this with Twitter especially. They make their user interface look like a slot machine. They use gambling methods,
which is proven to be addictive.
Yep. You'll see what I mean by this, guys. There's a quote here. The pull to a fresh and infinite scrolling mechanism on our news feeds are unnervingly similar to a slot machine, said Tristan Harris, a former design ethicist for Google, who's been described as the closest thing Silicon Valley has to a conscience. You pull a lever and immediately receive either an enticing award, a match or a prize, or nothing. Harris wrote, "We cannot know when we will be rewarded, and more often than not, don't find anything interesting or gratifying, much like gambling. But that's precisely what keeps us coming back." Wow.
To put it simply, yeah.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
Seriously. It literally is made like a slot machine. I mean, you've seen it, dude.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I never thought of it like that, though. Like a slot machine. But yeah, that's right, because you're swiping up and it's like one motion. You're either going down or you're going up.
And then when you go up, it resets. So there's an extra thing now. You know what I mean?
Just like how a slot machine resets after each end, yeah.
Yep. So, Jared, what have you noticed that we don't have to read the article, but the kind of tricks that they actually do use, that you noticed while watching the site?
Well, let's see. Social media in general tends to be pretty addicting.
Yes, we all know that.
We find people who can't get off of social media. I don't know what your situation is with social media. I don't know how addicted you are.
Yeah.
However, I'm barely ever on social media.
This is the exact opposite.
I'm the exact opposite.
No, I'm the exact opposite of that.
You are.
I'm fully engrossed in it, which tells me that the power they have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I don't know what it is though. With me, I'm not really.
Don't like it? You're not really.
It's not that I don't like it, but that I can push myself away from it.
Yeah.
I don't know it doesn't have an addicting quality to me.
Yep.
It doesn't appeal to me in
weird.
that way, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like bull crapping right now. I'm being serious.
Yeah, absolutely. You barely spend any.
Yeah.
You don't see a need for it.
Yeah, I'm not bullshit.
Which I wish I can have. I wish I can have that mindset, but it's just.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make myself seem better. You know, I'm not trying to say, oh wow, look at me, I can stay away from Facebook.
Yeah.
No, I'm seriously not bullshitting you here right now. I seriously I can stay away from.
Literally, the only thing he uses it for is to post out content.
Mm-hmm. That's the only time I mean, you can look at my Facebook page for proof. I barely post.
Yep.
You know, I'm rarely on there. The only other times I go on there is like if my girlfriend posts something and she wants me to look at it, you know, and then if people are like, "Did you see that post on Facebook?" No, I haven't been on there.
That's exactly what my dad says. Yep.
You know, and it's like I'm rarely on there. There's times where I'm not on there for over 2 weeks.
Yep.
I mean, that's how
and there's an
I can
explosion
distance
of info,
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, rarely I ever go on Twitter either. I mean, Twitter's the exact same way. You know, I'm not addicted to Twitter. I'm not. And you know what also doesn't make any sense?
Twitter's just hostile.
Yeah, and also what doesn't make sense to me is Instagram. I never understood it. I never liked it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't like how you can't just.
I don't like the interface. The interface is bad. I think it's a garbage platform, and
Facebook bought it, so that's something there. But
yeah, well,
they're gonna lose it. Maybe
with a lawsuit there. Yeah. But no, seriously, I really don't like any social media. I'm not completely against it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with being a part of Facebook and Twitter. Like I have my own account on there. And for our channels and stuff, but really, I rarely go on there. I'm not addicted to it, guys.
Yeah.
You can look at my accounts for proof, but
yeah,
you know, I'm rarely on there.
Yep.
So, do you have any like suggestions, like how to pull yourself away from it, just out of like your opinion?
Get off the grid, basically. I mean, you basically have to smash your phone. I mean, it's everywhere, dude. I mean, maybe getting you a Bible more is something I do. Try to, at least. Getting you a Bible more.
Spend time with family more, like the people that you're around.
Yep.
Okay, now I'm not trying to throw a hit at, you know, people who do this, but I don't understand it.
What is this?
I don't understand when you comment on immediate family members' posts when they're in your house. Like you're like, oh,
yes, I've done that. Yes, I've done that so much.
I love that photo. Oh, I love that's so nice.
I've done that so much.
Or they say like, I love you, Mom. It's like you're literally live in the same house.
You can just walk upstairs and just say it.
Just go to your mom and say that you love her. Don't say it on Facebook and then like not say it to your mom in person. Like I just don't understand it, guys.
Oh, I've done that.
Do I just don't understand the whole? I just don't understand. What am I? Am I supposed to be born in the 1960s? Like, what's going on here? There's like a disconnect here with me. Am I in the wrong time period?
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, I'm not really addicted to it. So that was a little confusing part of my.
So
end.
This thing says, because we got it from an article, but one of the things it says, which scared me, is that the methods that they use are so addictive, dude. They create psychological cravings, and this is what really scared me. They invoke phantom calls and notifications, where users sense the buzz of a smartphone even when it isn't really there. That's scary, dude.
And the thing is, you also go, if you leave Facebook for a little bit, you get notifications.
This is a concept. This is a concept that's called addiction by design.
Yep.
And the online company, that's measured in clicks and time spent. Literally. That's the thing that you were saying. They get you drawn into loops, or repeated cycles of uncertainty, anticipation, and feedback. You know? And the rewards are just enough to get you going. And like you said, Jared, this says about here, I'm just reading one more thing. If it is engaged, you get peppered with little messages of bonus offers to get your attention and pull you back in. I mean, Jared, you've probably done it. You've probably seen it, I mean.
Yeah. I also I do want to mention though, the only thing that I'm relatively addicted to, but I can still like stay away from it for a while, is TikTok.
Oh my gosh, TikTok.
Now, you know what? I think TikTok does a really good job of it, and I'm sure that Twitter and Facebook does the same for you. When you're bored, you want to find something to occupy your time.
Yes.
And what do? You pull out your phone, you open Facebook
when
or
it's
Twitter.
dead at work and you...
Yeah, and you're just like, okay, let's scroll through, see what's going on.
Yep.
Which, I understand that. That makes sense because Facebook and Twitter, they're like, what can we do? Oh, we'll be there when you need us most. When you're bored, we're here.
Yep.
And
Yep.
And even better, you're addicted to it and can't put your phone down.
Yep.
Or
your laptop, whatever you choose to use it on. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like the one thing I'm relatively addicted to is TikTok. I mean, I use TikTok. I don't even use, like I said, I don't use Twitter or Facebook
but
much at all.
About it that's like.
But I'm not on TikTok all the time. I'm on TikTok like when I'm trying to pass my time.
Yep.
Believe it or not, that's.
You mean like a giant eagle?
No, I don't watch them while I'm at work, but
I go back in the freezer, just
like if you're sitting on the toilet, and you're going to take a poop, and it's like, well, what am I gonna do while I'm pooping, man?
Watch TikTok.
Watch TikToks. I mean, who else doesn't watch TikToks on the toilet?
I do.
You watch it on the toilet too? All right, good. Yep, I'm not alone here. So.
Oh man.
So. Moving on from that.
Do you want to read this one?
Yeah, there's a Forbes article on censorship. Now we don't have to go into the article's like really short. I looked at it, but there was a really good quote here that was from Steve Forbes.
Yeah.
And
I love this so much.
So he said they're only creating serious ill will that will eventually hurt them, and in the meantime is leading tens of millions of people to conclude that their ability to express their opinions is being suppressed. This is toxic for our political life. And Steve Forbes is talking about it on censorship of the media, to be more specific for people who are kind of confused there. That's talking specifically on the censorship issue that we're focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
It is toxic for our political life.
Yes.
It really screws with people's heads because social media and they really play a role in who gets elected and all that. That maybe wasn't a thing
That's why when Ted Cruz is talking to Zuckerberg or Jack Dorsey, he has to use your platform influence the elections. And Jack Dorsey said no. Complete lie.
It is a complete lie because it's a stupid thing. He probably knows it does. But he doesn't want to say that because then he can be, put in trouble. His company can get in trouble. He's supposed to put his company in a good light.
Yeah.
So that's just a interesting little quote there.
Mm-hmm. Cruz is what it is. Like, who the heck elected you to do all this? I mean, that is so true.
Yeah. Not wrong.
So what is this one, Joey? You found something else?
Let's see.
Was it the experiment first?
Yeah, let's move on.
I want to read a little bit about this because I don't want to.
Okay, go ahead.
Read too much about it. Hey, what's our traffic right now? What's our privacy? That right now. Just to update the people since we've been doing it, I guess.
Let's see. What is Atlantic saying? Well, of course, Google, Amazon, Warner Media, the Rubicon Project.
Rubicon? What is that? Oh my god.
Index Exchange, Pubmatic, Corteo, Teeds.
Titties.
TDs.
Okay.
Okie dokie then.
So, I'm only gonna read a little bit of this, guys.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
This article. Let me use my weirdo voice. Not really. So, Facebook's newsfeed, the main list of status updates, messages, and footage you see when you open Facebook on your computer or phone, is not a perfect mirror of the world, obviously. But few users expect that Facebook would change their newsfeed in order to manipulate their emotional state. This is crazy. We now know that's exactly what happened 2 years ago. For 1 week in January 2012, data scientists skewed what almost 700,000 Facebook users saw when they logged onto its service. Some people were shown content with a preponderance of happy and positive words. Some were shown content analyzed as sadder than average. And when the week was over, these manipulated users were more likely to post either especially positive or negative words themselves. This tinkering was just revealed as part of a new study published in the prestigious Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Many previous studies have used Facebook data to examine emotional contagion, as this one did. This study is different because while other studies have observed Facebook user data, this one set out to manipulate it. The experiment is almost certainly legal. In the company's current terms of service, Facebook users relinquish the use of the data for, quote, data analysis, testing, and research, end quote. Isn't ethical, though. Since news of the study first emerged, I've seen and heard both privacy advocates and casual users express surprise at the audacity of the experiment. We're tracking the ethical, legal, and philosophical response to this Facebook experiment here. We've also asked the authors of the study for comment. Author Jamie Guttery replied in photos to a Facebook spokesperson. Yeah. That's basically it.
So...
Wow, and then look what the bottom is on the thing. We just talked about, like, what on the bottom. That's kind of funny. Oh, it's on mine. Paulo's rise was also its downfall. Like, are you serious? So basically, what is that saying, Joe? This experiment.
Well, I was just about to ask that to you. What do you take out of this article?
Basically, trying to manipulate their emotions by showing them certain content, right?
And where else does that go? That can also be used to what? Manipulate elections.
Political views, yes.
You know, I mean, that experiment proved it right there.
If Twitter's pushing down all those so sad negative things Trump is doing in our throats, oh, here comes Biden. He offers the solution.
He's a nice old man that is going to be our grandpa, and we're gonna be safe again. So yeah, that's a whole thing. But like, people are saying that Biden is going to, or at least Biden is saying himself that he's trying to bring America together. But what he's not being clear about is how he's going to do so. There's two ways that Biden could bring America together. One is that he can advocate for free and open discussion.
Yes.
On, from both sides of the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, which is the most likely one in this case, is that he's going to silence the other side.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's going to continue the silence, and that way there's unity.
Unity through silence.
Unity through silence instead of unity through open and fair discussion. And I think that's the route that Biden's going to go.
Yep.
But maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that...
I pray that we're wrong.
Yeah, I pray that Biden actually
stands
up.
His ass. Yeah. I mean, seriously.
And I hope he doesn't cave to the radical left who want to censor the other side and they don't want to reason.
Oh.
And
excuse me, guys.
Both sides do this. The radical right does it, radical left does it. We're
not preaching on our soapboxes here. We know that we're in some ways.
I mean,
honestly.
But we're reasonable though.
Yep, we're conservatives and not right wingers.
Yeah, we're not right wingers.
There was a difference, guys. There was a difference.
Yeah. So, if you guys are aware, we're not right wing advocates here, neo-Nazis or anything like that. So, we tend to reason pretty well.
So, in fact, comment, guys, and tell us what
what your thoughts are on it.
All this so far.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think about social media, especially the big tech censorship. That'd be nice to hear your opinion on it.
So, Jared, you really fired up about this article, right?
This I found very interesting. Okay, so...
Is this from Wired?
This is from Wired.com. The last article is from The Atlantic, which I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic, but either way.
I thought it was an interesting experiment.
So, dark patterns in social media.
What is that?
So... What is dark patterns? Well, Facebook lets its users opt out of Facebook partner websites collecting and logging their publicly available Facebook information.
Which is what I talked about in the metadata top section.
Right. Anyone who declined that personalization saw a pop-up that asked, "Are you sure?" Allowing instant personalization will give you a richer experience as you browse the web.
Of course it does.
Mm-hmm. Until recently, Facebook also cautioned people against opting out of its facial recognition features. I didn't even know Facebook had that.
Me neither.
No, we do
no!
not. No,
we do not need Zuckerberg looking us in the face. Thank you.
we don't need that weasel watching everything we do.
Oh God, dude, that's so freaking creepy though.
So if you keep face recognition turned off, we won't be able to use this technology if a stranger uses your photo to impersonate you. End quote. The button to turn the setting on is bright blue.
Why would anyone be impersonating you, first of all? Hey, I'm meaningless. Like, why?
Whoa, Aiden, that's not very nice.
Why would you? Why?
You mean something to the world, okay?
Nothing! I mean nothing!
I'm just a blip on the radar.
Yes. Blip, bloop. Not even a blip, dude.
So...
Oh my gosh.
So basically what they do here is that they have a button that if you select the facial recognition to be turned on, it'll be bright and blue, so it'll be more appealing to the eye.
But where do you think its data goes though? I mean,
but if you leave it off, like you opt to leave it off, it's a gray.
Yeah.
So it's less appealing to the eye, which makes you seem like you did something wrong or...
in their eyes, yeah.
Or it looks better, to you to have
Let me just say, though, guys, also, because we didn't mention this, Zuckerberg covers up his laptop camera. Let me just say that. I mean, come on now. He knows what's up.
Yeah, he knows what's going on.
He knows what's up.
He's not stupid.
Mm.
Well, sometimes I think he is.
He's an alien.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm convinced. I mean, what would be the best way to take over a planet? I mean, seriously. I mean... Pick a platform everyone uses.
Yeah. You're right. So researchers call these design and wording decisions dark patterns, which is a term applied to UX that tries to manipulate your choices. So when Instagram repeatedly nags you to please turn on notifications...
Which is why I turned them on, because I was so sick of them notifying me. God, guys, what are you doing?
Yeah, they do that all the time.
Yeah.
And doesn't present an option to decline, that's a dark pattern. So basically a dark pattern is...
Yeah, what is this?
Well, let's read on a little bit more. There's another example, I think. When LinkedIn shows you part of an in-mail message in your email, but forces you to visit the platform to read more, also a dark pattern.
And then the Facebook is what catches my eye.
So when Facebook redirects you to log out, when you try to deactivate or delete your account, that's a dark pattern too.
Okay.
So basically,
or if it gets you to boost your post.
Yeah.
That's a dark pattern.
Which basically, that's a way to manipulate your choices, basically, because they keep sending you the same repeated message.
Do this, please.
Yeah. So.
And now it's the end of the notes, but we'll also talk about it more at length.
Yeah. But yeah, this
is huge. This is so much that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's reaching out privacy. It's facial recognition, getting our social security numbers.
Which I didn't know that Amazon would do such a thing.
Yeah. This seems hopeless, dude. Like, seriously. And then freaking Paula, dude.
That's the biggest story of the day. Biggest story of the month.
Yes.
Is that we don't have Parler. We thought we were going to have a new year for conservatives. Conservatives would be able to go over to Parler. They can, watch, listen, read articles that were otherwise not available to them on other platforms. Like New York Post could post things about... No, that's the Washington Compost.
Right, but them too.
But the New York Post posted, the thing about the Hunter Biden story.
Oh, yeah.
And they got banned, so it's like we're hoping that we'd be able to see content, without it being censored,
Dude.
So
obviously not.
So yeah,
these jackass.
So right now it kind of seems hopeless.
The only thing that seemed optionable for us as a podcast company is to go into the dark web on the Tor browser. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I don't want to go there. There's a bunch of weird stuff on there.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
No. Might have to be an option, though. You know what I mean? Like, just... No.
I think I'll wait a little bit before Safe Parlor comes back.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm hoping, banking on that, actually.
Yes.
So,
If that lawsuit doesn't fail.
So I know you guys are feeling pretty hopeless right now, and just like Aiden and I.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you guys are upset with censorship of the media and not being able to get your content freely,
I know I'm pissed about it. I mean,
I'm pissed about it too.
Dude, let's talk about this for a little bit before we end this. How do we communicate with YouTube? Not just blocking our videos, but what does it do? Like, explain how the YouTube algorithm looks to them so that they understand how small creators like us are being kept down.
Yeah, they seem to...
Because we've experienced this.
It makes it very hard to gain popularity on YouTube.
Yes.
You know, it seems like you gotta have help from the YouTube gods in order to actually get places. And I really don't think that they want to help people that have views that are conservative.
Yep.
You know, to try to gain momentum to
YouTube
become...
doesn't, yeah.
YouTube doesn't want to help us. And I feel like we're being censored, you know, and I don't know how... I want to know how you guys found this video,
please,
too.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments below.
If it doesn't get taken down, I mean...
Yeah, which I'm sure it'll be fine, but...
Yeah.
You know, let us know how you guys found our content. Did you find it through a video suggestion, if you're a new subscriber?
Thank you.
Or a new listener or watcher of our episodes? But let us know how you guys found us. Did you find us as, you know, through Facebook, Twitter, you know, anything? Just let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we're pretty censored. Just like Steven Crowder. I mean, he
once had a bunch of his videos taken down.
Yeah. He had, you know, YouTube, you know, coming after him all the time, and I guess he had like a live stream of something over the summer I was like listening to, and then all of a sudden it got cut off. And then he said, like, well, we have our half Asian lawyer going after it now. You know?
Yeah.
He's on the case right now.
Yeah.
But he's always on the show with him.
Yep.
I forget what his name is, but they always call him half Asian lawyer.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what he's there for, though, because they're just...
They got to deal with it all the time. I mean, it's ridiculous. Shows that they got to have a lawyer on their show.
Oh, the thing that pisses me off, dude, the most is the demonetization. That pisses me off, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how people make their living, and you're...
Yeah, some people, like... That's their primary income is YouTube.
And you take that away from them?
At a moment's notice, like no warning, no nothing. It could just be pulled away from you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the thing about you remember that one guy? I don't know if it was PewDiePie or whatever, but a bunch of YouTubers would lose their subscribers like boom, 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 boom. And they just kept. That was a couple of years ago. Did you hear about that?
Mm-mm.
People were losing millions of subscribers because of a so-said glitch in the YouTube system.
Huh.
Yeah. This is bullcrap, dude.
I don't know. That seems kind of suspicious to me.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. But yeah, I think that's about it for talking about that. Don't you think? For YouTube?
Yeah.
So
it seems hopeless, right?
Yeah, so what can we do to actually protect our rights as Americans? How to fight against the radical left censoring our content? These big tech companies.
Because it needs to be done, guys. This needs to happen now. Like,
yeah,
seriously.
we need to have action now. So what can we do? Well, what can we do? We can fight algorithms with algorithms.
Yes.
And this is an article or a quote from technologyreview.com.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said that algorithms on Facebook and Twitter control so much of what you see in your feed. They're the reason, for instance, that you always seem to see posts from your best friend, but not those from an old roommate you don't interact with very much online. Or more insidiously, why you see news only from certain sources and not from others.
Yep.
So
True.
You can mess with these algorithms by using a tool like Gobo, which is a project which is not sponsored on our podcast by any means. Is a project from researchers at the MIT Media Lab Center for Civic Media. Gobo connects with your Twitter and Facebook accounts and lets you precisely control your feeds in a way that companies themselves won't.
Oh, man.
So that's interesting. Cool. You're basically in control of your own algorithm.
Yep.
So sliders let you adjust factors like how serious or silly the stories in your news feed are, what percentage of posts you see are from men or women, or the amount of political diversity you're exposed to. The tool also lets you see what it removed from your feed and why.
Oh, we gotta start using GoBo, dude.
I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna test it out on Twitter, like try it out.
Yeah,
just
please.
for fun.
Yes.
Just for funsies.
Yes.
And see if it actually works well or not. I don't know if it's like a paid service or something, but hopefully it's free.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will be, to be honest. But yeah, so that's essentially what we can do, guys. That's a little bit of a little glimmer of hope in our very dark podcast that we had.
Dude, the thing that pissed me off too about Twitter is the fact-checking thing. We didn't even go into that.
Yeah, that's a bunch of
fact-checking. Okay, whatever.
By whose standards?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just so mad, dude. It's just like, it's not even funny. Like, these companies, dude. Ooh. Social media is supposed to be what, dude? What is it supposed to be? You know what I mean?
Well, it should be a platform where you can express your opinion without being censored.
Yeah.
You know, you should be able to go on there and post, you know, within, you know, reason what you want. You know, you can't post, like, nude photos or... It's funny we're on the same page.
Yeah, yes.
Also kind of scary.
Yeah. I think the same. Oh my god.
Yeah, so,
that's just... And I'm pretty sure after this, there's going to be an update about the lawsuit, just because
because we ended the podcast?
Yes, about it, yes.
Something always happens after we're done.
Yes.
And then we're like, shoot, we should...
Paula's lawsuit fails.
Or Parler's back online after we did this whole thing. You know? It's like, okay.
Shoot.
All right, scrap that old podcast, guys. We're
no,
good.
we're still gonna post it.
Yeah. That'd be funny if that was what it was.
Literally a second after we stopped hitting record, Paula's back online.
Congrats, everyone, for helping us get this far.
Yes. But seriously, dude, wait here. Guys, you, our followers, we need to take action. This has gotten too far.
Yeah.
Way too far. It's just gotten too far. I freaking hate Zuckerberg. Shut up.
I'm sorry.
What?
Nothing.
I'm trying to rile up the troops, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing.
What happened?
That farted. We're good.
Oh god, that fart?
Yeah.
What did you? Oh my god!
I couldn't hold back the laughter there. I was like, or my fart, but that's besides the point.
Oh,
all right, sorry. Continue with your rallying speech.
Dorsey is just all of you guys. You need to just stop. Like, you guys have said yourselves, you guys are committed to making the best platform possible, and yet you shut us down. All the flipping time, dude. All the time. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Joe, what are your final thoughts on this?
Well, it would be nice if... I mean, I really hate to say it, but it kind of seems like the federal government is going to have to step in. I mean, it's getting to the point where, you know, the federal government has to step in at certain points in time. You know, and that happened back in the day with when the antitrust laws went into effect in 1914.
Yes.
You know, guess what? The government was taking a laissez-faire.
That's back when Rockefeller and all them.
Yeah.
Yep.
The government had a laissez-faire kind of approach to the economy.
Yeah.
And just kind of let companies do what they wanted at the time, which that's a fine approach with if you want free and open, you know, whatever.
Yes.
But the problem is that it gets to a point where if there's no regulation, some companies start buying up other companies, and then before you know it, you have no competition. And it's just like one company that rules all these other places, you know, controls all this stock and all that. But, you know, that really screws with the economy, and it actually hurts the economy, so the government has to step in.
Yes.
And I feel like this is a situation, you know, where this is free speech.
First Amendment right.
You know, it's a First Amendment right, and the government should step in and say, hey, you guys are are violating free speech, and you will be held accountable for this. And I feel like that's the job of the government, to make sure that is fairly administered, you know?
Yes.
They need to start putting some regulations on Facebook. Like I said, we mentioned briefly that there was a lawsuit from like maybe the federal government and Facebook. I believe I saw something on that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that maybe that goes somewhere and we actually get Facebook to break up some of their monopoly they have going on. Like they have Instagram and WhatsApp. Those two need to be given away. Because Facebook just owns too much. And it's getting to the point where there's no competition. And any social media platform you go on, Facebook owns it.
Yeah.
Or Twitter. And you got Facebook, Twitter, and you say, oh, Snapchat. Instagram. Oh, no, that's owned by Facebook. Snapchat, maybe Snapchat.
That's a competitor.
Yeah, but...
Paul's not anymore because you guys decided to fuck that up.
Yeah, so... Dude, I'm just hoping that things get better soon. I'm hoping that Parler comes back and we can.
So, one more thing. Do we have any plan now for us personally for right now? Because we were going to use Parler, but they'll shut down. What do we do? Because I don't want to have to give in to Twitter and Facebook, but yet.
Which I think the solution is to try that Gobo thing. I think we could try that Gobo app if that's what it is. Try that out if it's not like a pay to use service. I'd like to try it out, see if it's any good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna squash us out?
I hope not. It depends if Twitter starts to ban Gobo and like somehow blocks them out. If that happens, then we're screwed.
We're gonna stick to 28 subscribers. I mean,
but yeah, please do subscribe if you guys are if our new viewers of our channel, because if you enjoyed this podcast, we'll try to bring equally as good content next time.
Look at all the 46 podcasts.
Yeah.
So that's it, buddy?
I think that's it for this episode, guys.
Yes.
But please do subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And if you're already subscribed and you have not pressed that notification bell, please do, because then that will let you know when we are posting new content.
Yes.
And you don't want to miss out, because big tech companies will not help you out on finding that. So you got to help yourself to finding the content that you want to watch.
Yes.
So see you guys next time.
See ya.